Now this topic requires me to wear this as a protection. I did have a blue on, but I lost it. I don't know where it is. Okay, let's get started. Here in Indonesia, there's a quote unquote tradition that I really disagree with, really wanted to shoot spitballs at, really. As you've probably read from the title, it's called Ospec, and for the sake of my own sanity and the sake that I don't want to say the word multiple times in this video because it really doesn't feel natural, I'm gonna call it event because I can. Now, I don't exactly know what the abbreviation of OSPEC really is, but I don't have enough care nor do I have respect for it for me to research it actually deeply. Basically, I don't want to look it up, I don't care. What it is essentially when freshmen or newcomers or new kids at school type kids in a educational institution, which is in our case high schools, campuses, or universities, having to go through at least a week, but could definitely go up to 2 years of what I could say bullshittery. Depending where it's held, it's basically when juniors having to go through an event or to adhere an event by the organizers, that is the seniors, make. Oftentimes, the new kids are split up into groups for a set duration amount of days or a set duration of days the organizers come up with. Now, for the sake of this video and having reliability on what I'm talking about, I'm going to be talking through my own personal experiences along with a couple of my friends' stories with it, while adding on why I think it's such a bad and garbage tradition to go and follow through. It's just a not good thing to normalize, and the fact that students, usually young students, are just expected to just take it on the chin is such a dog shit backwards way of thinking. I'm gonna elaborate on that. My first experience with it was probably in junior high, but it was such a blur, or maybe we didn't go through it at all, that I'm not gonna count that, which is a weird thing because I still remember all the horrible things that I did in elementary school, but I can't for the life of me remember what I did in that time. But I couldn't for the life of me remember what happened in my junior high or middle school years, so I'm just not gonna count it. My actual real event experience was in high school, which is a bummer, but there's a caveat to that. The caveat was that it was all held online because of COVID. It was funny to me because of how the functionaries was trying so hard to be strict and no funny business running it. But I mean, do you really expect me to take someone being angry behind the screen seriously? Every time they told us to do anything, I just never did it, and maybe I left behind the screen. Who knows? I don't remember. Now I'm going to say that not all events are bad. There have been instances where the event was made to actually be welcoming for the newcomers. In fact, I've seen multiple videos of institutions or organizers having actual fairs or events that are actually good. There was this one institution, I can't really remember which one, but it was a thing that I saw on Instagram, held a cosplay event for this. This to the Ozbek world is like finding gold in a pile of shit right next to the rivers of Kolkata. But for the rest of us that didn't get such luxury, we're subjected for at least a week of kissing our seniors' butt cheeks and crusty toes. And that's sometimes literally. In my own experience, we had to wake up at 4 a.m., get to campus, get yelled at, explain why some of our teammates that are made up of freshly graduated high schoolers that are probably not responsible enough to live on their own couldn't wake up at 4 a.m. on time and make their way to the shithole, and then got told to do 30 push-ups like it's the military. After all that cyber knucking, we're escorted to an auditorium to listen to some dude dressed in LinkedIn, listening to their success while we're writing down whatever the hell that we were supposed to be listening, but we're not actually listening because we're just busy writing down things that the people were saying. Oftentimes, it'll also include physical exertion, like running, crawling, being doused in motor oil, eating food of scraps like a dog, really things that you'd expect how Iran treats their prisoners. Mind you, these are fresh high school graduates. Now, the reason for all of this shebang is supposedly to build the sense of togetherness among your classmates and showing you around the institution or the place that you're enrolled in, basically. But what gets me going is that why couldn't we just do this without the entire shithole? Why couldn't we do this without all the yelling, being a nuisance, and possibly putting other people in danger? Now, I'm not joking when I'm saying this. During the event, there has been at least 2 people that we had to call an ambulance for and then get hospitalized as a consequence of everyone being different and not everyone being able to go through this amount of stress, which is not a sign of weakness, mind you. People are just different. If you think that's a sign of weakness, then I think you're an idiot. Now, you might be asking yourself, why not just not do the event? Why subject yourself into doing something you know that'll be stressful and a mess to go through? Well, my dear friend, let me tell you. It's because there's usually consequences. Not for your grades, oh no, no, no. Your actual useful school and academic performances are not actually affected by this at all. So it's not like a concrete thing or a mandatory thing that you have to join or otherwise you're gonna get dropped out. No. But you usually aren't going to be able to join the different types of things, or in my case, I could give an example to you, like it's kind of a club thing, and your group mates and everybody else that's enrolled in the event are going to get punished for it if you didn't. And I'm going to add to that, the mindset of one at fault, everyone at fault is just flat out stupid. If the entire point of this event is being held to prepare for you for your professional live work later on, then isn't that rule going to be not used and going to be avoided at all times? I could go on about why it's going to be avoided, but I'm not going to put an example out for you because I just think that rule exasperates everything, and I don't think it's too difficult to come up with a reason why. You can come up with the reason yourself. Now, with all that in mind, then why does it exist, right? Why do us Indonesians keep adhering to that asswipe of a tradition? I can't even call it tradition. It's like a tumor on the word. I'm gonna splash you with the cold water right away. I don't know where it comes from. I know that I said tradition, but no one really knows. Maybe I've heard or read it somewhere that it came from the age of colonialism, and when the island of Indonesia was taken over by the Netherlands, and everybody was kind of drafted and forced to do things that they didn't want. But that's history, and even then, I really couldn't give less of a shit to care where it comes from. And moving away from history, why do we keep doing it even though there's little to no function of it existing? Well, in my head, there's at least two reasons why it still exists to this day. Number one of the justification is the quote, "I suffered and then you must too." Humans are social creatures that can get jealous pretty easily and depending on the person. And there's a hidden hierarchy between those words. Say a person did the event, right? They went through all the bullshit that they had to go through. And then the younger person that came after them didn't have to do that. In the eyes of the person that did, it's unfair, of course. Because if they went through hell and back, why can't others also go through it? That is absolute bonehead of a way a person thinks. And I'm sure that you know somebody that thinks like this. Number two of the justification. It's not really justification, it's more of a phenomenon. Schadenfreude. People, for some reason, just really like to see other people suffering. They get off on it like a sick pervert with a slab of dog meat on the table. It's a waste of everyone's time and energy that could have been spent on doing something much more productive and friendly in a way that's also building team building and community togetherness. Number three, this isn't really another reason, it's just kind of I'm adding on to the two of the reasons that I said. But people like to justify it by saying that it builds mentality and it helps to be more responsible, which I guess there's a point in that. I won't disagree too much, but I would argue that there's a better way to do it than to treat probable already stressed out students into more unnecessary stress. Like, dude, it's a fucking educational institution. For crying out loud, it's not a military barracks, okay? It's hard enough to get an institution of education in here, in this country, and with everything else that's going on. I know it's really hard for you to look at other people in their limelight, but holy shit, you have a heart and use that brain that's up here. Now, from my friend's experiences, one of them had to eat scraps until he threw up twice in a day for eating shit. Well, not literal shit, but close enough. And the other one had to be baked in the sun for 2 hours because, well, people were just yelling for no reason. I understood where he was coming from. And the other one was, I don't know, okay, I asked like 10 of my friends that have went through this. None of them like it. None of them liked it at all. Everyone would rather just kill themselves. I'm not even joking. One of them would have rather to have themselves killed than to go through that. This might just get the video demonetized, but I don't really care. I don't really make money out of this. I just like ranting a lot. Now I know that there's gonna be a lot of people from the Indonesia land that is going to be mad at me and call me a snowflake, a weakling, a chud, just because I don't like this. And that is understandable. But again, you know yourself, you know deep within that cold heart of yourself that there is way better things. No, it's not better things. There's just way better ways to do this that's not disturbing or being a mindful. Not mindful, you're not mindful at all. being a headache for people, basically. You know that deep within their heart that there's a better way to do this, and you don't really fully agree with what you're doing. Try to defend it at all. I'm never going to be agreeing with you because I think this is dog shit and should be burned in hell. Fight me about it. I don't care. I really hate this so much. I can't. I need to take a shower to wash off all my rage. Now that's pretty much all I have to say. I'd repeat it here out loud of my opinion of OSPEC. If you still don't get it, OSPEC is a fucking waste of everyone's time and should have never been a thing in educational institutions. I'm blinking. If you can't see, I'm blinking. I've written everything down into a script so that I don't mumble upon my words, and this jacket is actually pretty hot to wear indoors. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.